going to focus on prompting, asking the right question as you are interacting with ChatGPT. As a researcher, it's very important for you to learn how to ask the right question so that you can get a response that will be helpful for you when you're doing research. The same way when you are communicating with participants, right? You have to ask them a very good question. You have to ask them the right question. You have to ask them simple questions so that you can get rich information from them to address your research question. So today, we're going to learn about prompting. So there are three types of prompting. The first one is exploratory prompting. The second one is structured prompting. And the third one is reverse prompting. What is prompting? Prompting is just asking ChatGPT questions to get results. So you ask the system a question, maybe what is qualitative analysis? And then the system will process that information and give you an output. So it's a question that you ask the system or a command that you give for you to get the results that you want. The first one is exploratory prompting strategy. Exploratory prompting, as the name implies, you are exploring. You are asking simple questions to get some information. Based on the system response, you can ask further questions until you reach a stage where you really like the response. The same thing when you are interview participants. You continue to ask them questions. Sometimes based on their response, you can ask a follow-up question so that at the end of the day, you get the data that you need to address your research question. The same scale, when you are communicating with ChatGPT, you can ask a series of questions until you reach a stage where you are satisfied with the response you get. So that's all about exploratory. Normally, you use this one when you want to brainstorm. You want to gather some information to start a process, right? Let's say you are doing a research and you are not sure about what to focus on. You can ask the system to suggest some topics for you. You can ask the system to suggest a problem statement that could help you to think about a specific problem that you want to address in your study. So it's very good when you are stuck, you are at the beginning stage of research and you just want to get some understanding of complex issues. You want to get ideas to work with. So this is all about exploratory prompting. Let's go to ChatGPT. I'm going to show you how we can try out some exploratory prompting. And when it comes to exploratory prompting, the more you communicate with the system, the more you develop the skill of the best way to ask questions or the best way to give a command. The same way when you are doing interviews, the more you interview participants, the more you gain the skill of interviewing. So to learn how to use the exploratory strategy well, you just have to have communication with the system. Ask the questions that will help you to gain some information and continue to ask until you reach a stage where the result is what you want to help you to do your research. Let's go to ChatGPT. So when you go to the website, this is what you see. If you have a free version, if you don't have ChatGPT Plus, you will not see this one. You only see ChatGPT there. But if you have a Plus version where you have to pay about $20 a month to use it. So I have the Plus version. I have the ChatGPT 3.5 and I also have ChatGPT 4. If you want the system to help you to solve a complex problem or you're asking a complex question, ChatGPT 4 will be the best. But it's slow because it takes some time to be creative. It takes some time to bring advanced information. For this demonstration, I'm going to use the free version so that you understand. But we can also try using the GPT-4 version so that you see the difference and what you're going to get. So sometimes I may use both. So let's say I'm interested in the topic, right? And the topic is about burnout among healthcare providers. And I'm not sure the problem that I want to really focus on. So I just want to explore and see what ChatGPT will give me. And then maybe I start working on that. So the first question that I want to ask the system is, let me put a question here. I'm doing research on burnout among healthcare providers. Can you provide me with ideas on what the research problem could be? So I just want to find out, okay, This is my topic. What kind of problem should I focus on? And let's see what ChatGPT will give us. So as we can see, ChatGPT is suggesting some problems that we can really focus on. The first one, understanding the factors contributing to burnout among healthcare providers. Comprehensive examination. I like the first one. The second one is assessing the impact of burnout on the quality of patient care and safety in healthcare settings. That's also a very good one. So you go through and explore and see which one that you think you can focus on, and then you can ask further questions, right? Another question that you can ask is, I'm planning to focus on this one. So you can select this one and tell the system that I'm planning to focus on, and then you paste the option that you want, get to find out information, and you ask what will be the purpose of the study. So I'm planning to focus on understanding the factors contributing to burnout among healthcare providers, a comprehensive examination. What will be the purpose of my study? So you just get an idea about the purpose of your study. And let's see what the system gives you. The purpose of this study is to understand the factors contributing to burnout among healthcare providers. A comprehensive examination is to gain a comprehensive understanding of the various factors that contribute to burnout among healthcare providers. The study aims to explore and examine these factors to identify their significance and impact on healthcare professionals' well-being. Here you can see that the system has provided you the aim and also the objectives. So you can go through and choose the one that will be helpful in terms of the purpose and also objective of the study. But the most important thing is to make sure that there is a consistency between the purpose of the study and the problem that you want to focus on. You see here that this is not a perfect, but it gives you ideas about what you have to focus on, what you want to investigate, and look into literature and find out more information. Another question that you can ask is that, based on the suggested purpose, what is the best research method I could use? Let's see what the system tells us. The system is telling us that you could use a mixed method approach. And then the system has listed a qualitative phase and a quantitative phase. You can choose to focus on doing a qualitative study, a quantitative study, or a mixed method, right? These are all ideas. They might not be perfect, but it helps you to work on it and then look into the literature and learn more about the approaches that the system is suggesting. I will also want to ask the system about phenomenological approach. I'm asking ChatGPT, would phenomenological approach be appropriate? Let's see what the system will say. Yes, it will be appropriate. And then giving you more information. So you can see here that it has explained what the aim will be if you are using phenomenological approach. Phenomenological approach is all about capturing the experience of participant, giving participant a chance to share the experience with you. In this case, you're giving participant a chance to share the experience of burnout, and then you can gather all these narrations of the experiences and analyze and make sense and use that to address your research question. And the system has even went further. That's very interesting, to give you how you're going to select participants, collect data, analyze and interpret your data, validation, making sure that you do maybe member checking or peer debriefing. Although it's not perfect, it's giving you some information to start working on. So I really like how the system has detailed that information to you, and then you can learn more about it. Lastly, I want to ask, who should I collect data from if I plan to use phenomenological approach? The healthcare providers, you can collect data from them. You are focusing on their burnout experiences, and you have to also focus on diversity. This one is so interesting because one element of using phenomenological approach is also making sure the variations of participant experiences are represented in your data. How do you make sure that they are represented? trying to collect diverse experiences based on age. It can be based on gender. So if it's based on age, you have your age range and then make sure that participants are selected across the age range that you have. So we see how this system is so good in helping you to start working on your study. It's just like you are talking to your research assistant, getting some initial information to start working on it. It's so interesting. I love this one. The way the system is giving you all the information that you need to start working on it. Information about informed consent, the need for you to provide informed consent to participants, making sure that they understand the study and they are willing to participate. And then you're making sure that their privacy and confidentiality are protected. So that's very valuable information that we have gathered here. You can also help the system if you realize that this information is not useful for you. You can click on thumbs down so that the system will learn that, okay, this is not helpful for you, and the system continue to learn from your response. You are providing feedback so that it will continue to learn based on the conversation it has had with you. So that's all about exploratory prompting. It's so interesting. And it gives you ideas to start your research. I love this system. If you use it in a very genuine way, you can get a lot of information. And also, you can share this information to your supervisor in case they want to ask you, what role did ChatGPT play in your study? All the communication you have will be saved on your left side. And then if you want to send the one that we just did about burnout to somebody, you can click on this one to upload. And then here also you can show that it's from you by showing your email and click on this link. And you can send that link to the person so that when the person go to the website, the person will be able to get access to what communication you had with ChatGPT. And this one can be helpful for other people too, to learn how you communicate with ChatGPT so that you can also learn the skill of prompting, asking the right questions so that you can get the desired response from the system. And it's also a way of being transparent. You are letting people know how you use this to help you to start your research. And that's what my passion is. I want to help people to use this system in an ethical way, in a responsible manner. And that's what my focus is all about. The second strategy is the structured prompting strategy. It's structured because you have all the elements of a good prompt. A good prompt should have these 4 elements. A good prompt should have a role, context, command, and output. The role is all about assigning role to the system. One example is, as a qualitative researcher, when you provide a role, you are assigning a role to the system so that you are not going to get a generic response. Another thing is you have to think about a context, trying to draw boundaries. It's like giving the system a background information so that it will be able to think through the system well and provide you all the rich information that you need. And you have to command what you want the system to do. It can be in the form of a question or in the form of a command. Do this for me, or what should I do in this situation? Lastly, this is where you want to specify the output. You want to tell the system what you want the output to look like. You want to describe the output. Do you want the system to give you the information in a table form? Do you want the system to give you the information in a bulletin form? Do you want the system to provide you themes? And what is the characteristic of the themes that you want? To get a desired response, you have to describe what you want, right? What the output will look like. So that's where the output is very important. The output can also be providing an example. So let's say you are asking the system, can you generate interview questions for me? And you give an example of some interview questions so that the system will learn the format, the structure, so that it will provide information that is consistent with the example that you have provided. See how wonderful this AI tool is. If you provide a very good structure in terms of prompting, you're going to get a very good response. One example that I want you to see. As a qualitative researcher, using a phenomenological approach to explore factors contributing to burnout among healthcare providers, what kind of questions should I ask the providers? generate your response of this command in a table form, or you can say in a table format. So let's break things down. So in terms of the role, I provided a role as a qualitative researcher. I provided a context, right? Using a phenomenological approach to explore factors contributing to burnout among healthcare providers. So I've given a context and I've provided a command. What do you want the system to do for you? What kind of questions should I ask the providers? And then I provided the characteristics of the output, how the output should look like. And as I said, we can even give examples so that the system will really know what exactly that you want. So that's how the structured prompting looks like. So let's go back to ChatGPT and try this one out and see what we're going to get. That's going to be very interesting. Let me click on new chat. And then I'm going to copy the example and I'm going to put it here. And let's see how the results going to be. So you see how the system has given you examples of questions that you can really ask. So the open-ended question, can you provide me your experience? Can you provide your experience of burnout as a healthcare provider? That's a very good question. How does burnout manifest in your daily work? That's a very good question too. Can you tell me about any specific situations that have led to burnout for you? So you see how the system have given us questions that we can ask participants. As I always say, these may not be perfect questions, but it's a starting point because you have to go through and make sure that they are consistent with the purpose of your study and your research questions. You see how ChatGPT have provided you rich information that you can start working on it. Imagine you are stuck. You don't know the kind of question you want to ask participants. And then you ask the system, can you provide me questions that I can ask participants based on this topic as a qualitative researcher? And you see the results. Let's do a little exploration. Let's have fun here. Let's try GPT-4 and see how the output will look like. So this one is GPT-4. Oh, interesting. Wow, it has even grouped the questions based on the various topics, like questions related to work environment, questions related to personal experiences, ones related to coping mechanisms. Another one, suggestions for improvement. That is very good. You see, this is a starting point. Even GPT-4 is also so good in helping you to develop your interview questions, right? To start with. And as I said, don't just take this information and run with it. Try to make sure that they are consistent with your research questions and the purpose of your study. They are open-ended questions. They are simple questions, one question at a time. I love this. So these questions are going to be very good for you if you are doing this research. So this is what I have for you concerning the structured one. I just want you to try this one out and also tell me what you found. If you can put your thought in the comment section, that would be great, about whether you have tried using this strategy and then what did you get? What are some of your questions, right? Was that really helpful? Do you have any strategy that you want to help us to learn? Put them in the comment section so that we can have a very good conversation. Let's look at the difference. I feel GPT-4 responses were better than GPT 3.5. What do you think? So this one is GPT 3.5. And also you can put your thought in the comment section. This one is 3.5. It gives us a lot of information, but I like the GPT-4 because it has grouped the interview questions based on the specific topics that you may want to focus on. So that's a very good organization. I like this one. So let's move on to the last one, which is reverse prompting strategy. Reverse prompting is where you're asking ChatGPT to generate a prompt for you. So this means that you can ask ChatGPT based on the output that ChatGPT has given you. You can ask the system to generate a prompt that you can use to get similar output. So this one is very useful because we are all continuously learning about prompting. So you are asking ChatGPT to generate a prompt for you so that you can use that prompt in the future, so that you can get similar response if you use that prompt. So that's all about reverse prompting. It's mostly useful after you have use the exploratory prompting. You have asked the system several questions and now you have gotten your desired response. And then you are asking the system, I like this response, but I don't want to have a long conversation with you to reach this response. So what questions should I ask you so that I can get this response? That's all about reverse prompting. So let's try that out and see how it will look like. I think we had a previous conversation with the system. So you remember that we did exploratory strategy where we asked ChatGPT a series of questions about the topic, about the methodology, about how to collect data, about who to collect data from. And then we got to this point. This point. And I think we are satisfied with the answers the system has provided to us. So we want to tell the system what kind of questions should we ask to be able to get this kind of response in the near future. Another thing that you have to think about is that when you get that prompt, it doesn't mean that when you use it, you're going to get word for word this response, right? Because when you look at my first video that I did, I talk about ChatGPT and the randomness. So this means that when you ask the system the same question, you may get similar response, but the word structure might be very different because the system is using a concept called temperature. The system randomly predicts the next word. So let's try it out and see. Imagine we want the system to generate a prompt for us. The question we are asking is, what question should I ask to get the response we just generated? So this one is to ask ChatGPT to provide us a prompt that will help us to get the same kind of response that it just generated. So let me click on this and see what we're going to get. The system is telling us that if we use this one, there's a higher probability for us to get similar output. So if you use, what are some possible criteria and consideration for selecting participants when using a phenomenological approach to study burnout among healthcare providers? So let's see whether we will get similar output. So now the system has given us a prompt, and then we're going to use the prompt to see whether we can get what the system is saying. Okay, so let's see. So it talks about the participant selection for phenomenological study on burnout. So it's giving us information about the kind of people that we have to collect data from. That's very good. And also talking about diverse demographics based on age, gender, ethnicity, and years of experience. So you can see them here. And varied working setting, willingness to participate, whether they are willing to be part of the study, and the availability, consent, and richness, saturation, collaborating, and also establishing rapport. I think that this one is providing more rich information. So you see how the system has given you a prompt that can help you to get rich information. You see how ChatGPT has taught us the best way to provide a prompt to get what you want. If you have GPT-4, you can also try and see how the response is going to be. Let's try GPT-4 and see. It's quite similar to what we got from GPT 3.5. Another way to use reverse prompting is you can give the system a transcript and ask, based on this transcript, can you develop interview questions that will help you to get similar responses? And the system can generate interview questions for you. So you see how you can be very innovative. You present a sample of an interview to the system and you ask it, if I want this kind of responses, what kind of questions should I ask participants? And the system can provide you that information. So You see how reverse prompting can be very useful for you in doing your research. So that is what I have for you for today. The most important thing is to practice, continue to practice, and you will be able to perfect this process. If you want me to come and talk to your institution about ChatGPT and research, you can email me at info@drphilipedu.com. If you want one-on-one consultation or even a group consultation about qualitative research, how to analyze, how to use a software to analyze your data, how to do qualitative research, you can click on this link and fill the form, and then I'll be able to contact you so that we do the arrangement and provide you all the support that you need. I'm here to make sure that you use ChatGPT in an ethical and responsible manner. If you want to learn about how to analyze your qualitative data, this book provides you step-by-step way of analyzing your qualitative data. So this one is going to be very useful for you. If you are doing a phenomenological study, this book will be very useful for you. And last one is if you are working on your dissertation and you want to know detailed information about how to write your dissertation from the methodology point of view, this book will be so helpful for you. You can follow me on LinkedIn. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can follow me on Twitter. And also you can email me to ask me any questions. And you can also put your questions in the comment section and I'll be happy to provide you all the information that you need. I hope this one was helpful for you. Thank you so much for your time.